Hi friends, this is Krish the Urban Naxal, and we are back to talking about how to buy resale properties. Now, as I said before, it is extremely easy to buy under construction property. You just have to walk into a builder's sales office. You just have to switch off your brain. The builder's sales team will walk you through the entire process. They will show you brochures. They will make you believe, and they will make your family believe that you are buying a dream house and that you're going to live happily ever after, and they will convince you that you have to swipe your token right here, right now, today. They'll make you swipe for the maximum possible amount that you can muster in your credit card or debit card, and that is it. You have purchased an under construction property. So what do you need to purchase under construction property? Switch off your brain. Forget what happens next. वो तो बाद में देखेंगे. That's it. That's all it takes. Anywhere, you go to any sales office at random, this is going to happen to you. If this is what you want, then please be my guest. Go to any sales office. But if you choose to use your brain and do something that is really good for your family, then I'm going to talk to you about the tough way to do things, the real way to do things. See friends, it is very easy to make an impulse decision to throw away your brain and let the builder guys take your wallet and do what they want with it. Okay? And later on get into difficulties and find out that this house is not what you really wanted. The tough thing to do initially is to do the work that is required for locating, identifying a house which you consider a dream home. Now, what is this dream home? Let us be very real. There is no such thing as a perfect house. You would be very, very lucky, amazingly lucky, if you can find no faults with a certain house. I think in the real world conditions, you should not expect that. What you should expect, however, is a reasonably good house with some flaws which you can live with. See guys, there are some flaws that some people can live with. There are other flaws that other people can live with. Let me give you an example. Some people are very sensitive to sound, noises. And they are very particular about the kind of noises that enter their ears. So, for instance, if you are one of these people who don't like the sound of, say, Aarti or say, Azan, then you should be careful about where is this house you are buying, which way is it facing? Is it facing a mosque? Are you going to hear an Azan? Listen early in the morning or in the evening. Get an idea about what it sounds like, how much noise level is there, and all of them, are there more than one mosque? If you're at a high rise, if you're in on the 20th floor or 30th floor or something like that, you may think initially that it is going to be quiet. High rises are not quiet places. High rises are more noisy, and the reason they are more noisy is very simple. Sound from very, very far away travels to your ears. You are going to hear a mosque from 5 miles away, and another mosque in another place, another 2 miles away, and another mosque in a third place. If that is this thing, if that is what causes irritation to you, then you should know that. Similarly, people get irritated by Ganpati processions, marriages, etc. So you should be knowing where you live. Are you living close to, for example, one of those places where, yagnas and homas happening all the time? They are always blowing smoke into the air. Now the smoke might smell like ghee, and some people may like the smell of holy smoke. I am not one of those people who like that. There are places where if your house overlooks a ground, an open maidan, where marriages take place, engagements take place, places like that, or dandiya ras takes place. I am the kind of guy who gets very irritated by large speakers and loud noises. So, if you are like me, then you should make sure that the house that you're going to buy in resale does not face one of these places, does not face a Maidan, etc. Another thing, very important factor to consider when you're looking at a resale house. See guys, all these things you can do when you are going to look at the houses, actually stand in the houses, then go down to the ground floor, walk around the compound, walk around inside the building. You can do that. Please don't be under the illusion that anybody is going to get angry with you if you walk around in the stairwell, walk around in the corridors, check out the compound, check out where the parking will be, go to the basement, go to the parking podium and so on. It is your right to do these things. The broker who takes you there may feel irritated because he thinks his time is more precious, but you should tell him to go. You should tell him, okay, chalo, you carry on, let me walk around. If you like a house, then you should get a feel of the stairwell, the compound, the corridors, the lifts, how well the lifts are working, whether they are well maintained, how well is the building maintained, is it painted properly. Turn on all the taps in the house, all of them, flush all the toilets in the house. Get a feel of whether the toilets are working or not, whether the flush is working or not in the afternoon. Because if the building runs out of water, in some places you have water shortages. Is this one of these places with water shortages? You should find out. And then coming back to one topic which I was about to tell you, guys, it is very important for you guys to know where your house is vis-a-vis the nearby crematorium. Very important. Are you upwind? Are you downwind? I'll say you should always be upwind of that in all seasons. Crematoria. Why? Crematoria are smoky places. You will always have smoke. And if you are in one of those neighborhoods where humans are being cremated all the time, it is going to bother you. It is going to start bothering you or someone in your family that you smell that smoke all the time. So be careful where your house is facing or where the wind blows to your house. Check whether your house has cross ventilation or not. It should have cross ventilation. Yeah, and since we are talking about crematoria, let me also tell you about cemeteries. Cemeteries are burial grounds. Where is your house vis-a-vis burial ground? Not for superstitious reasons. That's not the point. But the simple point of the matter is, if you are facing in one of those places and you have a family which is superstitious or a family which is prone to that kind of thoughts and worries, then don't buy a house that overlooks a cemetery or is very close to a cemetery or a burial ground. Not because of any real existence of ghosts, but because these things will start playing tricks in your mind and you will worry and your family will worry, and then they start saying, hey, wait, I saw a shadow, and nonsense will happen inside your house. You don't want that. These are things builders never inform you about. They try to hide it. They will hide these facts from you, and this is another reason why you should not go for under construction, because builders hide these kind of facts from you. They don't tell you where you're very close to the railway station, because there's going to be a lot of honking noises coming from the railway station. They don't let you see that house. They don't tell you how close you are to the railway tracks. They don't tell you how close you are to the highway. And if you're in a high rise, if you're on 25th or 30th floor, or any floor that has direct access to the noise from the highways, then it is going to disturb you day in and day out. Now, some estate agents will convince you by saying, sir, we are providing the house with double glass windows, soundproof windows, or windows that will remove most of the sound. Even then, I say you should not go for that house, simply because there's always going to be that low bass noise. You can never eliminate that bass noise which comes from the highway. Always there. No matter what you do, 24/7, that noise will be there. that kind of noise. And you cannot get rid of it by just having double glass windows. And some of the time you will want to open those windows. In fact, it is ideal that you should have a house which is not noisy, so that you can open the windows and enjoy the fresh air all the time, instead of living in an air conditioned house all the time. Air conditioning is not good for your health. Air conditioning dries out the air and introduces irritants. Some people get really bad sore throats from being in an air conditioned environment. It also depletes the oxygen if it's a split AC. So slowly the carbon dioxide builds up inside your house. Not a good idea to live in an AC house all the time. Maybe some of the time in summer you can turn it on, but it should not be an environment there where you have to compulsorily live with air conditioning. It will also be more costly, more energy costs. So all these reasons, please make sure that your house is in a quiet place, not a noisy place. Now some people like secluded places, some people like their house to be right near the market. They like it if you can just get down from the building and then walk 10 steps and you can buy, limbu and kothmir and all this stuff. Or you just walk around to the kirana store which is 20 steps away, this kind of environment. Some people like it. If you are among those people who like it, then of course go for it by all means. Everybody's, tastes are different. Those who don't like it may choose a more secluded setting, more privacy, less noise, less hustle and bustle, less strangers going around, less cars honking, that kind of thing. So these are some things you can really check out in a resale house. Okay, another thing you need to check out in a resale house is what are the dimensions of your bedrooms. Sitting room, you can make all kind of adjustments. You can have smaller sofas and so on. But a bedroom needs to have a basic minimum size. In my opinion, most builders offer bedrooms which are way too small. Like some of them will offer 10 by 12. Now 10 by 12 feet sounds okay, but just sounds okay. But if you actually try to live in a 10 by 12, you may find that it is very restrictive. And there's barely enough space for a bed and a table and a wardrobe. And you will find if you put wardrobe and bed and table or a tepoy or stool or something like that, you will find that all the space gets taken up and there's very little space for you to move around. So use your imagination. Understand the space. See, again, this is one more reason why you don't go for under construction, because in under construction they show you the model flat, model apartment. Now the model apartment is an artificially built thing. It is not the real environment. You are probably not going to live in the way that they show model apartments. You are not going to furnish a house in the way that they show them in the model apartments. So the model apartment or sample flat basically just confuses you. It's there to confuse you. See an empty house, or see a house that is lived in if you want, because there may be tenants there. The investor may have allowed tenants to stay. Check the measurements. See what all will fit into that room. Think about how big your wardrobe is. Think about how big your bed, you like your beds to be, your cots. How big you like your tables to be. Whether you need to have a chair on the side or not, or a sofa. All these things. How do you like to live? Just figure that part out. And see if this fits into your way of living and then buy it. So, as I was saying the last time in the previous video, I said, well, you will make a short list. You go around, see 5, 6, 7 apartments every weekend, and in 10 weekends you are going to have 60 or 70 flats, and write down your observations in front of each of them in a notebook. What is the shape of the sitting room? Is it an L shape? What is the size of the kitchen? Is it adequate? Does it have an L-shaped platform? Does it come with modular furniture? Modular furniture usually is not very strong. Even the kitchen stuff, it looks great to begin with. It breaks down really quick. It is very lightweight. Those shelves that they make, they don't make the shelves with strong enough wood. So after some time the shelf will do this. It will sag. So all kind of nonsense happens with modular. Be careful. Don't get attracted to modular type things which are pre-fitted and given to you by the builder. Builders are not at all quality conscious about modular furniture which they will provide you. Same thing goes for pre-fitted air conditioners, geysers and so on. The builder may have put it there, the investor will have left it there. You are buying the house. Straight away you should make a discount you should say, look, I think the AC is not going to work, the geyser is not going to work, let's just remove the price of all that. Okay, let's remove the price of all that and then let's negotiate. So this is the way to negotiate with an investor. Don't include the price of, or don't take the air conditioners and all those things which the builder has fitted already into account. So this is something you can definitely do, and most investors will also see that you're being quite reasonable. So here's one trick I'm going to tell you for negotiating the price down as much as possible. Here's what you need to do in order to do that. Okay, this is a trick. This is a method. But if you follow this method, you will probably buy a flat that you like for a really, let's just say the best price. Okay, you might surprise yourself by how much you can bargain the price down. What you do is, let us say you see 60, 70 flats, which is you spend 10 weekends. I also advised you, please let the estate agent get some money at the end of the day. Give him 1,500, 2,000, something. It depends on where you are in the city. Maybe less if you are in North Bombay, maybe more if you are in South Bombay. But give them some pocket money. It makes them happy. It will make them want to show you more places. Okay, just pay them, say thank you at the end of every weekend. Let them show you, let us say 6-7 places. So in 10 weekends you've gone and seen 70 places. Let us say you have shortlisted 3 flats out of them which you like. Some of them are slightly more costly, some of them are very much within your budget, but then you don't like it so much because there are some minus points, like it doesn't have cross ventilation, or you don't like it that they don't have 3 bathrooms, they only got 2 bathrooms, or they don't have a common bathroom, they only have attached bathrooms which are attached to the bedroom. Or you may not like a flat because, hey, it doesn't have any attic space, or the walls are made of hollow brick, so you can't knock things, you can't knock a nail into it, so you can't support stuff from the wall. It'll just fall down, it'll break, it's brittle. So these are things you make observations about, but then you say, okay, but I still like this house very much because in all other ways it is good. So in this way you make a short list of 2-3 flats which you like and what you like about them. Then you have an order of preference. So you say this flat which has everything that I like is number 1, and then the second one is a little bit of a compromise, and then the third one is another bit of a compromise. So in this way you can come up with a short list where you have order of preference 1, 2, 3, 4. Now once you have got that, now you need to negotiate and get the right price. Okay. Ideally, I would say that you should have looked at places which are slightly outside your budget, slightly above your budget, maybe 5 lakhs outside your budget. Now you will say, Krish, they don't negotiate 5 lakhs, they will only negotiate 1 lakh. Don't say that, don't think that. You can negotiate, just be smart about it. So here's how I would suggest you should do it. First of all, tell your broker to stand out of the way. Okay, by now you should have built up a good rapport with your broker. Tell him, boss, I'm going to give you your brokerage, 1.5%, whatever, 2% if you want, but I will speak to the seller. I don't want you interfering. Verify that you are in contact with the actual owner of the flat. Very important. It is important to ask for at least the Xerox copy of the flats papers. Actually, the seller should show you the original, but it may not be always possible. But you should at least ask for the Xerox copy, and you should start carrying out. I mean, check that you are dealing with the owner, not his son, not his mother, not his father, but the owner. If you're going to give a token, before you verify that the building, that flat is not mortgaged or anything like that, then give a smallish token. Sometimes the owner will say, I'm going to give you my papers only if you, or even show you my papers only if you give me a token. Make a very small token, please. Don't make a big token. First of all, close on the price. Once you have come to a certain price which both of you agree on, only then you give a token, not before that. And don't be in a hurry to give a token. Brokers will often push you to pay the token. They will say, this house is like, it's going to really sell very fast and all that. Don't believe them. Maybe true, it is possible, but most of the time, if something goes out of the market, that gets sold, then something else will come into the market. So there is no need for you to think that this was a one and only chance and golden chance, and if it's gone, you have a disaster. You should not have that mindset. So let us say that you are negotiating, you have checked the papers, you know that you are dealing with the owners. So in flat A, flat B and flat C, 3 flats in your shortlist, you are dealing with the owners. Now what you must do is, what I would suggest is, try to gauge how desperate the owner is to sell. How do you get that? You get that by trying to understand how long he has tried to sell the flat and kept it on the market and it hasn't sold. So if someone will confide in you and say that he has been trying to sell it for 6 months or 1 year, how do you get him to confide in you? Well, you need to exude a very friendly vibe. You need to talk in a very friendly way, and maybe you can say, hey, you know what, I know what it feels like to be a seller. In fact, I tried to sell my house in Bangalore and it took a really long time. 2 years it was in the market and I was just not getting good offers. Now, if you can sort of bait that person into this conversation, he might say, yeah, actually I also have been trying to sell this house for the last 1 year. Now that is a clue. That means you can use that to know that you can depress the price. You can bargain. You got negotiating scope because he hasn't been able to sell this house for some time. So in this way, there are a few things. I'll give you more tips about how to talk about it. But this is the way you approach buying a resale flat. I'm Krish the Urban Naxal, your friend. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.